So, a little more Epstein stuff to deal with here because, of course, last week, what started the whole thing was during a meeting, the cabinet meeting, you had Pam Bondi, actually, before the cabinet meeting, I guess. Pam Bondi's DOJ came out and said, oh, by the way, there's no Epstein files. There's no client list. We don't know what you guys are talking about. We don't know what we've been talking about because we've told you these things do exist. But rest assured, they totally don't exist. That was last Monday. Tuesday, we had that cabinet meeting where Pam Bondi got super pissed. Trump got super pissed. People asking about Epstein. Let it go, drop it. Why are you still talking about this guy? He's been talked about forever. Stop talking about him. Nobody listened. Everybody's still talking about it, mostly MAGA because they're super pissed. But they insisted, and they have insisted throughout this entire scandal, these files that you guys are asking for, they simply don't exist. Now, of course, over the weekend, Donald Trump contradicted himself from just a few days prior when he said, no, these files do exist, but they were created by the trifecta of evil. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden. Those three got together out of nowhere and said, why don't we create a client list to make Republicans look bad? Right? I mean, in Trump's mind, that's what he's telling us happened. Now, we all know that didn't happen, of course, because all of Epstein's legal problems happened, by the way, under Republican administrations. Yeah, the first of it was under Bush. The second part of it was under Trump. So, Obama, Clinton, and Biden wouldn't have even had the opportunity to do these things. So if you simply look at the timelines, none of it adds up to fit into Donald Trump's alternative reality. But at the same time that he's telling us these files do exist, they were just created by our enemies, they also insist they still do not exist. Well, that's a weird message to send, right? The thing that doesn't exist was created by Democrats and it still technically doesn't exist. So, to try to clarify things a little bit, Laura Trump, Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, who of course is now a host on Fox News, she went on the right-wing Benny Johnson podcast this week to tell everybody that she doesn't think the files exist, but also her father-in-law is going to release the files very soon. Again, very contradictory message, but here is what Laura Trump had to say. There's no great plot to keep this information away that I'm aware of. I just believe that maybe it's been slow-rolled for reasons that hopefully we understand down the line. Look, I don't know what truly exists, but I know this is something that's important to the president as well. He does want transparency on all these fronts, everything we're talking about, because it's frustrated him as well. He sat for 4 years like the rest of us did and saw lie after lie and our country just being sent down the wrong path. I know this is probably not his number one thing he's focused on, but he hears all the noise and he hears all the consternation out there, and I think he's going to want to set things right as well. So I believe that there will probably be more coming on this, and I believe anything that they are able to release, that doesn't damage any witnesses or anyone underage or anything like that. I believe they'll probably try to get it out sooner rather than later. So Laura Trump is contradicting the White House and DOJ statement from last week, which also kind of contradicts what her father-in-law said this past weekend, which also contradicted what was said Monday. And then Laura also contradicted her own self by saying she doesn't even know if anything exists, but they're also going to release it sooner rather than later. Now I'm going to ask you this. Do those sound like rational thoughts? Because no, they don't. That's a hypothetical. I don't need you to answer. No, they don't sound like rational thoughts. What they do sound like are statements coming from people who are basically crapping their pants out of fear right now. And that is what's happening with this administration. It's what's happening with the Trump family. They are soiling themselves out of fear, which is now causing their brains to not work to the point where they're just contradicting themselves every time they open their mouths. And the best part is, this is a completely unforced error. They were the ones who made the Epstein files an issue during the campaign, promising to release them. They're the ones who created it. They're the ones who decided not to follow through with it. And they're the ones who are telling people to shut up about it while also continuing to talk about it. We haven't had a lot to laugh at during this administration, but this is absolutely hilarious to me. Thanks for watching, everybody, and if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.